Hello everybody. In this video we're going to go over a worksheet that I created to help you examine where you are in the class, what homework and points are still out there, and how the makeup quiz is going to impact your overall grade. So the first thing that you need to know about this worksheet, is that I have password protected it so that you only need to enter in these boxes here. So anything that has a box, except for this one right here, is where you need to enter data. So the first thing you do is you go into Angel and enter the total points you have for quizzes, homework, lab, and other. So other is the category where lab points went. So for example, I have 159.929 points, 159.29 points for quizzes. I have 90.25 points in homework, 24 points for the lab, and I did the lab survey, so I got 4 points. And so what this number right here is telling us is the current total points that I have in the class. Now there are still some points outstanding, so let's go and enter those. So here we have 50 points for our quizzes. We have 40 points left, roughly, for our homework. We have 60 points in labs. And we don't have any other assignments in others, so we just put a 0 there. Now as we put this data in, you can notice automatically there's some numbers that are being generated. What these numbers are, they are the points that you're expected to get if you get the average for that category. So for example, I have 159.29 points in quizzes. The average of that, so per quiz I averaged about a 39.825. So I expect on my next quiz, if I get the average that I've been getting, I would expect to get about a 40% or a B on my next quiz. And I've done that for each and one of these things. So that basically kind of gives you a baseline. This is what you have done. I mean, for example, in labs, we have more than one lab, but if I got my average, I would expect to find at the end, after I've done all my labs, to get 48 points of those 60. And I would lose points for various things if I get my average. Now, each one of you may think, well, you know what? I am going to do better than the average. I'm really going to work hard. I really want to get that A. So perhaps I expect to get a 50 on my quiz. I do expect to lose some points in the homework. So let's just say I plan to get 30 of the 40 points in homework, so a little less than was predicted. Let's say I'm really going to go after these labs, and I expect really to get a 55. And of course, 0, right? And so what this tells us, this is what we would get, if everything was average. And these are the points that you think that you're going to get from the homework that still hasn't been turned in or is outstanding. And so if we combine that with the points that are already in the gradebook, this is kind of where you stand. This is where you kind of are projecting your grade to be at the end of the class. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you want to know what percentage, if you're going for a particular percentage, like some of you, you want to get above a C. So you want to know how many points you need to get above a C. So what you can see, you can enter your desired percentage in the class. So for example, let's say you want 70% in the class. This will tell you the score that is required, so 341.6, that is required to get at least a 70% in the class. Now, as you can compare, this is what your expected score is, and even if you just did what you've done in the average, you're definitely going to get higher than a C in the course. And you can do various things like play around with these numbers. Let's say you wanted to know what score would I need to get a 95% in the class. You need to get 463.6 points. Well, clearly, if you do your average, there's no way you're going to make it. But maybe if you come in through here and add up these points, maybe you can see where you can get. Now, these points are out the makeup. So let's assume like you're pretty confident you're going to be able to get these scores on your next homework and lab assignments. But you really had a poor quiz grade. Let's say the lowest grade you've got, so the lowest quiz score so far was a 25. And you had a really bad day that day. Now you know the material and you feel comfortable, so you feel comfortable. I could probably get at least a C, so at least a 35 on this next exam. And what this will do, this will basically tell you, okay, given the information that you've provided up here, if your lowest score is a 25 and you think you're going to get at least a 35, that means you're going to get a 10-point boost in your overall score, which means this is what your expected score or your predicted score is going to be. So this is very useful for you to decide whether or not you want to take up the makeup quiz, or what score you need to get on the makeup quiz in order to get an A or a B or whatever particular grade you want in the class. And as points come in over the rest of the semester, you can update this. So for example, when you turn in homework for your correlation lab, there will only be 30 points left. And let's say you still plan to get at least 20 of those points. Now let's say you did. You say you actually got those 10 points. So we can add those points here. So these are the total points that you have gotten. Well, let's make it 9. Let's make it 100.25. And that'll adjust. And it'll also tell you how many points you still have left, how many points are outstanding, what the points of those you're expected to get. And that'll keep you on track. And that way you can have some goals for the next semester. Additionally, if, for example, say you really need to get let's see, find a good one here. All right. Let's say, for example, you're going with a predicted score of 411, but you really need to get 414 to get that 85 that you want. You can come in here and say, you know what, this is my lowest quiz score, but what if I got, how many points do I need? I need about 4 points. So what I really need to get here, is a 40. If I get a 40 on there, that's going to put me way above. So you can use this worksheet to help you out. This will be up on Angel. If you have any questions, feel free to talk to me next week after class, or you can talk to Jesse. So have a great day. Bye.